They just locked you in for months and then came to take you to a field hospital. Do you remember? Such experiences during COVID-19 lockdowns, even for strong and stable individuals, can have lasting psychiatric effects. The sudden loss of freedom, isolation, and fear of illness created an environment of chronic stress that rewired the brain's ability to cope with change. Imagine being confined to one place with limited human contact and then abruptly thrust into a high-stress environment like a field hospital. This disruption affects brain plasticity, reducing resilience, adaptability, and emotional balance over time. Psychiatry views these situations as critical because the consequences, chronic anxiety, difficulty reestablishing trust, and long-term career or life instability don't just disappear when the lockdowns end. Like a muscle weakened after being unused for months, the mind can take years to rebuild, shaping life decisions and emotional health in ways that linger far beyond the pandemic.
COVID lockdowns did not merely affect individuals with pre-existing vulnerabilities. They also profoundly impacted strong, stable individuals with previously secure lives and careers. The case of a person with a stable background, recognized talent, and a robust psychological profile experiencing dramatic life changes after the pandemic can indeed be analyzed through a psychiatric lens. Even for resilient individuals, the abrupt shifts caused by prolonged lockdowns, including isolation, career disruptions, and altered social dynamics, can catalyze significant life decisions and identity shifts. These changes, while not pathological, reflect the profound psychological and situational pressures of the pandemic era. The person moved to a new country, experienced shifts in career and recognition, and made major life decisions like marriage, all shaped by the unique stressors and opportunities of the pandemic. The pandemic's impact on strong individuals is like a tectonic shift, gradual pressure leading to sudden, life-altering movements. Lockdowns forced individuals into prolonged periods of introspection and isolation, altering their priorities and decision-making processes. For someone with a stable career and no psychological problems, this period might have triggered a reassessment of values, ambitions, and relationships. The lack of social and professional interaction during lockdowns can create a sense of urgency to pursue major life changes, such as relocating or marrying, to regain control or fulfill unmet emotional needs. These decisions, while rational, may carry a deeper psychological imprint of the pandemic's restrictive environment. Example: a strong professional may decide to marry during lockdowns due to increased introspection and limited social alternatives, despite not considering this path under normal circumstances. Analogy: lockdowns are like prolonged winters that force trees to grow roots in unexpected directions to survive. For individuals previously celebrated as talents in their field, the pandemic-induced loss of professional recognition and employment can lead to a subtle but significant identity crisis. Being recognized for one's abilities contributes to self-esteem and purpose. Losing this can evoke feelings of inadequacy, frustration, or a need to redefine oneself. The transition to a new country compounds this impact, as cultural differences and a lack of local recognition may create additional stressors. Even for strong individuals, this loss of status and stability can challenge their resilience and necessitate psychological adaptation. Example: a scientist recognized in their home country may struggle to regain similar recognition abroad, leading to feelings of professional displacement despite their talents. Analogy: losing professional recognition is like a renowned musician moving to a place where no one recognizes their music. It challenges their sense of identity. Marriage during or after a period of lockdown can be influenced by the heightened emotional need for connection and security. The isolation of lockdowns often intensified feelings of loneliness, leading even stable individuals to seek deep and permanent connections more urgently than they might have otherwise. While such decisions are not inherently negative, they are shaped by the psychological conditions of the pandemic. the resulting relationships may carry emotional imprints of the unique stressors and constraints of the time. A person who marries during lockdowns might later reflect that their decision was partly driven by the heightened need for companionship during a period of isolation. Marriage during a pandemic is like planting a tree in a storm. Though it may flourish, its roots are shaped by turbulent conditions. 5. Relocation and the challenge of adaptation. Psychiatric insight. Relocating to a new country after the pandemic reflects a desire for change or new opportunities, often shaped by the frustration and stagnation experienced during lockdowns. While moving can be empowering, it also introduces significant stressors, such as cultural adaptation, professional reestablishment, and building new social networks. Even for psychologically strong individuals, these challenges can evoke feelings of uncertainty, loss, and self-doubt, particularly if their new environment does not provide the same recognition or stability they previously enjoyed. Example: a professional moving from China to another country may struggle to reconcile their past accolades with the new challenges of finding employment and recognition in a foreign system. Analogy: relocating post-pandemic is like uprooting a thriving plant and replanting it in unfamiliar soil. It requires time and care to flourish again. 6. Can this be recognized as a psychiatric case? Psychiatric insight. This case reflects a significant psychological response to the unique pressures of the COVID lockdowns, rather than a clinical psychiatric disorder. Psychiatry recognizes that major life changes, even in strong individuals, can stem from situational stressors rather than inherent vulnerabilities. The prolonged isolation, loss of routine, and disruption of career dynamics during lockdowns created a psychological environment that influenced life choices and mental states. While this does not constitute a disorder, it highlights the profound impact of environmental factors on human psychology. Example: psychiatrists studying post-pandemic adaptation recognize that even resilient individuals may exhibit significant behavioral and emotional shifts driven by the pandemic's circumstances. Analogy: this case is like a strong ship navigating rough seas. While it remains afloat, its course and condition are shaped by the storm. The changes triggered by the pandemic, such as relocation, loss of recognition, and altered personal relationships, can lead to a prolonged redefinition of identity. For individuals who thrived in their previous roles, this redefinition may feel destabilizing, but can also offer opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Psychiatrists emphasize the importance of resilience and adaptive strategies, such as seeking new professional opportunities, fostering social connections, and embracing the benefits of new experiences. Example: a professional who was once a leader in their field may pivot to a different industry, finding unexpected satisfaction in new challenges. Analogy: post-pandemic identity shifts are like switching from climbing mountains to sailing seas, different paths requiring new skills but offering new vistas. 8. The role of resilience and support systems. Psychiatric insight. Strong individuals can navigate significant life changes more effectively if they have access to resilience-building practices and support systems. Factors such as strong family ties, mentorship, and personal adaptability mitigate the long-term psychological impacts of pandemic-driven changes. Recognizing the role of environmental factors, psychiatrists advocate for creating supportive environments that help individuals rebuild their careers and identities post-pandemic. Example: a person who moved abroad after the pandemic may find stability and fulfillment by engaging in local communities or professional networks. Analogy: support systems are like anchors providing stability while individuals adapt to new waters. Psychiatry views the profound life changes experienced by individuals during and after the pandemic as part of a collective trauma response. While strong individuals may not develop clinical disorders, their experiences are valid and reflect the psychological impact of an unprecedented global event. Mental health professionals emphasize the need for understanding, compassion, and proactive support to help individuals navigate these changes. This includes recognizing the long-term effects of isolation, career shifts, and altered social dynamics. Example: post-pandemic counseling sessions often focus on helping individuals reconcile their pre-pandemic identity with the new realities they face. Analogy: post-pandemic adaptation is like finding balance after an earthquake. Rebuilding requires time, effort, and support. Even for strong, resilient individuals, COVID lockdowns acted as a catalyst for profound life changes, reshaping careers, relationships, and identities. Psychiatry recognizes these shifts as a psychological response to the extraordinary circumstances of the pandemic rather than pathological conditions. Understanding these changes through a psychiatric lens underscores the importance of resilience, adaptability, and support systems in navigating post-pandemic realities.